Good morning. Myself Ashish Kumar, and I take Polity Governance here in VISION IAS. Welcome to all of you. See, it's an open session, so as usual I will not start speaking from my side. I want you to be very participative and ask questions. So initially we'll have, this is a very crisp session for half an hour only, okay? So I just start by asking you that whatever queries you have from your side, take 15 minutes, let's discuss that. After that I'll add the things from my side, right? And be very open, be very frank. Let's start with the doubts which you have come here with. Any question you want to ask regarding the preparation? I hope you know for what we have come here. Sir, किस चीज के लिए आए हम लोग यहाँ पे? It's an open session, मतलब discussion session है for the exam which is coming in 2010-18. 17 वाला तो अब शुरू हो ही गया, 18. And also to tell you how you can align your preparation, right? Any questions to start with? Any doubts, sir? कोई doubt लेके आए हो मन में? हाँ जी. एक सेकंड सर, 1 second sir. Yeah.
Sir, if you want to study, for example, for the other exams,
okay.
You read all the subjects for majority of the subjects every day.
Okay.
Sir, for
1 second. I'm just here to discuss issues of polity and governance, है ना? So let's stick to polity and governance, okay? Let's not be very open in the discussion. अब बोलो.
Sir, what shall be the approach of carrying on the subjects?
Okay. Approach. See, before I start with the question answer, let me tell you that this exam has got 3 major steps. 1, prelims, other, mains, third is, you know very well, interview. ठीक है ना? Prelims, how many paper? 2. GS1, GS2. GS2 is what we call CSAT, English, Maths, Reasoning and all. ठीक है ना? GS1 is the core general studies. It includes polity, history, geography, current affairs, science and tech and all other things. Okay. Now, this is more important reason. This will make you come in the system. Because if you get a merit here, you are in. This is only qualifying, you know very well. GS1, how many questions? GS1 में कितने क्वेश्चन आते हैं? There are 100 questions. Out of 100 questions, how many come from polity? Minimum to minimum, you will get around 12% questions from polity, and it can go even up to 22%. 12% to 22% can come from what we call as polity. So it is one of the 4 pillars of this examination: polity, economics, geography, okay, and history. These are the 4 pillars of this examination, GS2 particularly. Sorry, GS1. ये है वेटेज पॉलिटी की, ठीक है सर? मेंस इन विच पेपर पॉलिटी विल कम? हाँ जी, GS2. GS paper 2, polity will come, governance will also come. GS paper 2, what is the weightage? How many marks? 250 marks is the weightage of GS2. How many questions come in exam? Earlier 25, now they have set it to 20 questions. Now they are asking 20 questions to be answered in 3 hours. है ना? Time is more, question is less. 20 questions, less or not? No. 20 questions can take good enough time. Okay. What I mean to say is that it requires a lot of answer writing practice, because when you write answers in this GS paper 2, your speed increases. How much time you feel you can give to every question out of 20 questions, sir? Approximately? Sir? If you divide, you will get around 8 minutes. But actually, in practice, you will not get 8 minutes. Effectively, you will have only 5 minutes. After all, you have to do complete the other formalities also in between. है कि नहीं है? 5 मिनट में एक आंसर लिखना है आपको. And word limit 200. So it will take enough practice to write a 200 words answer in 5 minutes. Practice, practice, and practice. What? Answer writing if you want to clear GS paper 2. Practice enough answers. यहाँ पर भी practicing is the key. I'll tell you how. Okay. GS2 20 questions, 250 marks. Out of these 250 marks, let me tell you the major breakup. 250 marks divided into 4 sections. One which is called as polity or the hardcore polity, the traditional polity. For example, here you can get questions on federalism. Here you can get questions on constitution. He can simply also ask you what is constitution, what are the peculiar features of Indian constitution, or how Indian constitution is not simply a bag of borrowing. How Indian constitution is not simply a bag of borrowing. ऐसा नहीं है that we have built a constitution by picking up some parts from Australia, some parts from Canada, some parts from America. We have twisted them as per our need. So it's not only that we have copied the things from other areas, we have also modified them to suit the requirement of India. जैसे we have taken parliamentary system from which country? UK. Did we not modify this parliamentary system? ठीक है ना? So what I mean to say is that this is polity, traditional polity, federalism, constitution, president, governor, and Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, elections, judiciary, okay? Special status given to some states जैसे कि कश्मीर और आंध्रा और नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स, 5th शेड्यूल एरिया, 6th शेड्यूल एरिया, ये है ट्रेडिशनल पॉलिटी. ओके, व्हाट इज द वेटेज ऑफ दिस ट्रेडिशनल पॉलिटी इन दिस पेपर? सर, it can even go up to 100 marks. Maximum weightage given to traditional polity. ठीक है ना? And this year particularly I feel this will be very very important. इस साल इस पे ज़्यादा फोकस आने वाला वैसे भी. And I feel today pre is being conducted. I feel, I mean, I may be wrong also. This pre or possibly coming pre, you will have enough questions on polity coming. Reason so much of things are going on in the political arena. रोज कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा है. If आप देखो पेपर nowadays, most of the news are coming related to polity. Either election commission or Supreme Court or president or governor or LG or union territory, or your fundamental rights like right to privacy. अभी आ रहा है ना आधार कार्ड के अंदर. So what I mean to say is that so much of things are happening in this area. So many changes are coming. So I feel it can be now potential area. And they, UPSC can also focus more on it in the coming pre, possibly today or next pre, and also in means. Polity के बाद the next area of importance is governance. See, the people who came now, I am only discussing GS paper 2 because my relevance is here only. Okay, governance. What do you call governance includes what, sir? Governance में क्या आता है? Governance means, जैसे एग्जाम्पल, रोल ऑफ सिविल सर्विसेज. एवरी ईयर दे आर पुटिंग वन क्वेश्चन ऑन द रोल ऑफ सिविल सर्विसेज, 12.5 मार्क्स. हर साल इस पे क्वेश्चन आ रहा है. एंड द क्वेश्चन विच दे आर आस्किंग इज लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट ऑल्सो. इट कैन नॉट बी आंसर्ड विद जस्ट जनरल नॉलेज. रोल ऑफ सिविल सर्विसेज, और फॉर एग्जाम्पल रोल ऑफ सिविल society. You know very well what is civil society. Apart from this, what are the other areas of governance? For example, have you gone through the syllabus or not, sir? Syllabus देखा आपने? नहीं देखा? Let me tell you, if you are really sincere about this preparation, then when you start with any coaching or wherever you go to attend an open session or forum, go after going through the syllabus. For example, you should be knowing that what are the various papers in this exam, what is the syllabus. And the second step which you should follow is that take up previous year papers. अभी आप pre के पेपर ले लो, Please go through the kinds of questions which have come in examination. Unless you know what is the level of this examination, then there is no point preparing. It will be a blind preparation. Okay? Align your preparation properly so that you can come out of this system successfully within 1 year or maximum 2 years. Jitna jaldi, I mean, give direction to your preparation. This is what I mean to say. Do not just start attending these sessions or join a coaching thinking that I have joined coaching, now the job is done. No. Joining the coaching is only the beginning. And strengthen your beginning by buying previous year paper and going through them. Role of civil services, society. For example, self-help groups. For example, he can put a question on e-governance. He can put a question on what we call as citizen charter. He can put a question on the role of media in strengthening democracy. Pressure groups. All these things are put in what we call as governance. Now, the weightage of polity was approximately around 100 marks. What is the weightage of governance around? Hanji? It can go up to 60 marks. Around. Okay. What is the third major area in GS paper 2? GS paper 2 ka तीसरा major area of questions, sir. Third major area is IR, international relations. International relations, the question can come of what weightage? Sir, copy तो खोलो. कितना weightage हो सकता है IR का? Around 50 marks questions come from international relations. Faculty will take this, separate faculty. And the fourth major area is welfare schemes, or you can call it as government schemes or government initiative in the area of welfare. For example, in this, what is the weightage of this part, these schemes? Government schemes or welfare scheme का weightage कितना है? Around 35 marks. 30-35 marks के इसके ऊपर question आते हैं. For example, he can put you that the changes which government has brought in the area of child labor, what are the initiatives taken by the government in this area? Are these initiatives sufficient or not? मतलब क्या? You have not only to know the present initiative which government has taken, you should also know what previous initiatives have been taken in this area, so that you can compare. Okay, for child labor abolition, what were the laws till now? And what changes government has brought in this area? Government has brought change in this area of child labor or not? भाई लेके आए ना वो लोग. So you should know not only the current scheme, you should also know the previous scheme in this area and then compare. Government scheme 35 marks. Is it clear till now? मोटा idea लगे ना breakup का. The next major thing is source. What should be the sources? Sources of questions in this exam. See, prelims means, let me tell you, and this must be a very genuine question in many of your minds, NCRT role or role of NCRT in the preparation. है ना? I am not talking about any other subject, let's history or economics or other. I'm talking about polity. For polity and governance, don't waste time on NCRTs, because what they will deliver, we will also be giving it to you in the class. ठीक है ना? So don't read 9th class NCRT, then 10th class NCRT, then 11th, then 12th. It's a waste of time. Okay. Other subjects, I cannot say anything. Prelims may first and the foremost, class notes. If you are attending the coaching, class notes. Because these class notes are prepared by taking up the best part from the best books. And if not coaching, then the other source, Lakshmikant Polity. Class notes, I'll be giving you enough conceptual clarity and information and analysis also. But in limited classes, I cannot give you each and every fact. And sometimes UPSC also asks fact. For example, UPSC has already put a question, who was the first speaker of Lok Sabha? G.V. Malvankar. Now, or for example, they can ask you a question in terms of precedence. Who comes first, who comes second, who comes third, or who are at the same level? For example, वो पूछ लेगा आपसे, governor and Supreme Court judge, who is the higher level of precedence? Order of precedence होता है ना हमारे पास में. So these kind of factual things are also given in Lakshmikant. For these factual things, you have to refer Lakshmikant. Mains, again, class notes. The same class notes which I'll give you in the class, they will help you in pre, and the same notes will help you in mains, because they will lay a strong foundation for you so that you are clear in your concepts and you have enough information so that you can also answer in the examination. Okay, na? Let me tell you one more thing. Do not prepare separately for pre as well as mains. Pre or mains alag alag nahi hai. They are same thing only. What you will learn for mains will help you in pre. Okay, just that for pre you require some more factual understanding, and you also need to develop an orientation that UPSC has put 4 options. Which of the 4 options is the correct option? The reason is that when you see the options, either all the 4 options will appear to be correct or all appear to be wrong. This is the beauty of UPSC. Or you can say this is the problem with UPSC. ठीक है ना, वो आपकी इच्छा है. But then what I mean to say is that unlike SSC examinations or other examinations where you can precisely tell that out of the 4 or 5 options which is the right option, here in UPSC it is difficult to answer. You can at best choose the best option out of the 4 or 5 options. ठीक है ना? And this kind of intuition, this kind of understanding, this kind of orientation that out of the given options which is the best option comes with practice. Practice first previous year papers of UPSC. मैं फिर बोल रहा हूँ, please buy previous year papers of UPSC available in the market. You can buy of any company, किसी भी company की ले लो, है ना? Then for mains the same class notes. You can also refer to Lakshmikant, but I feel for mains, even if you have not, see for pre already you have gone through Lakshmikant, so no need to write it here again. One thing which you have to add beyond to class notes is, what is it? Current affairs. Means class notes plus current affairs. If you are thorough in these 2 things, no third thing is required, believe me. Though people who have, though people can prescribe you number of things, read this book, read that book, not required. आप practically देख लेना इस बात को. Class notes and current affairs, enough. And here also in pre, class notes, Lakshmikant, and third thing, the same thing, which is current affairs, enough. ठीक है sir? Now let me tell you the relevance of current affairs for this examination. Will they put questions from current affairs in pre? In polity? Not much. Unless they are talking about a government scheme, they will not talk much about current affairs in polity, in pre. कोई scheme की बात कर रहे हैं वो एक अलग बात है. For example, they can ask you that this particular scheme is being handled by which ministry. समझ रहे हो आपको? That can be a current affairs question for polity. Otherwise, what they ask in polity is mostly traditional questions. But let me tell you what will be the traditional questions, or what will be the areas of those traditional questions is told to us by current affairs. This is the relevance of current affairs in pre. देखो बात ये भी है that unless you know what is the style of UPSC, what kind of question UPSC puts, it becomes very difficult to align your preparation. Once you get a pulse that this is the kind of question UPSC puts, you can prepare yourself that way only. Now I'm telling you that what questions can come in pre, you can understand if you are very thorough in current affairs. Up this year paper, which is going to take place, which is actually going on right now, I feel, though I may be wrong also because UPSC is very good at breaking the trends, I feel question abhi jo chal raha hai, question might come on president, question might come on vice president, question also can come from governor, question can also come from judiciary or money bill, because these were the things which were in news again and again and again. Why president was in news? Elections. President elections are due. So it's a news in current affairs which will get reflected in the question of pre. For example, he can ask you that the ordinance making power of president is a legislative power or executive power. Though he is asking you a traditional question. See, understand this. He is not asking you a current affairs question. वो ये नहीं पूछ रहे कि what is the age of President Pranab Mukherjee. वो ऐसे नहीं पूछ रहे. Though this was also coming in news. He is only asking you the traditional part of president. Reason president is in current affairs. President is in news. आपसे ये पूछ लेंगे ordinance making power legislative power है कि executive power है? Or who is the executive head of the state? President or the prime minister? Many will write prime minister. है कि नहीं? So vice president also. Now since president is coming in news, vice president automatically becomes important. He can ask you from which country we have taken the concept of impeachment of president. From which source we have taken the concept of elections of president. अब वो ये क्यों पूछ रहा है? Because this is important. This is coming in current affairs. So the things which are coming in current affairs can be a potential area of questions in pre. Though you have to read everything, but they are more important. Interstate Council was in news. So what are the details of Interstate Council? This can be a question in pre. For example, he can ask you, is Interstate Council a constitutional body or not? Or what is the relevant article in the constitution that relates to Interstate Council? Sometimes they also ask about articles, so they don't have a fascination for articles. For example, this question came twice. 10th schedule relates to what? Anti-defection law. दो बार as it is a question आ चुका है. ठीक है ना? So current affairs is important because it can tell you what can be the potential areas. Okay. अभी यही देखो आप. Right now a fight is going on in Pondicherry between the LG Pondicherry as well as CM Pondicherry. Now he can ask you which UTs have got the administrator who are called as LG. कितने UT में administrators को LG बोलते हैं? And what is the designation given to the same person in other UTs? Now he is making this question because this question was in news. वो ये नहीं पूछेंगे who is the LG of Pondicherry, because this is UPSC. Now this was relevance here. Means में what is the relevance of current affairs? Not only current affairs will tell you what can be the potential areas of question. Current affairs news itself is a question. Listen again. Current affairs news itself is a potential question for this examination. Whatever news is coming in paper, please, when you sit with paper, open Google. And whatever is coming, if you don't understand the background of it, open Google and read the background. For example, a news was coming on 5th schedule area some time back. Now, you are not thorough, okay, 5th schedule area hai kya? Though you have read 5th schedule area, such and such news came. But that serves no purpose. The purpose is served when you understand the in and out of the story, when you understand the dynamics of the story, when you understand the dimensions of the story. Now, news came on 5th schedule area, open Google. Though I will be covering in the class, I am telling in journal. If that has not been covered in class, open Google and read what is 5th schedule area, what is 6th schedule area, what are the problems in the implementation of the provision of these areas in practice. वो खुद अपने आप एफर्ट लगाओ आप लोग. I give an example. Let's say GS paper 2 2016. There was a question to what extent Article 370 of the Indian Constitution mentioning temporary provision of Jammu Kashmir are temporary. मतलब if you open Article 370 of the Indian Constitution, the heading is temporary provisions of Jammu and Kashmir. Means the special provisions which we have given for Jammu Kashmir were supposed to be temporary under Article 370. Ab the question came in exam. You know why the question came in exam? Because this was precisely the news in current affairs. A judgment was given by Jammu Kashmir High Court, judgment was given by Supreme Court in this area itself. Now if you were thorough with current affairs, you could have easily answered it. Otherwise you would be just writing the traditional knowledge of 370 in exam, which will fetch you no marks but will take away your time. वो ये पूछ ही नहीं रहा what is Article 370. He is asking you why Article 370 provisions are temporary if they are temporary in reality. And you can answer this only when you are thorough with current affairs. Got my point or not? एक और question. He has asked a question, discuss each adjective attached to the word republic in the preamble. Are they defendable in the present circumstances or not? Why he is asking you about the adjectives which are mentioned in preamble? You know, for example, secularism, socialism, republic, democratic. These are the adjectives given in the preamble or not? Now, why the question came? Haji, question क्यों आया इसके ऊपर? Because government said, or there was a voice which came up, that the word, कौन सा? Word secularism can be removed from the preamble because initially it was not the part of it. We added it later. And why we need to tell the whole world that we are secular? We are actually secular. इसलिए ये क्वेश्चन आया एग्जाम के अंदर. Third thing, I'm just telling you how the news becomes a question in mains. एक बात और, many people, you know, when they start preparation, they feel we'll take care of the mains. Once we sit in the exam, we'll write anything and we'll get the marks and we'll clear it. They take it very lightly. They think the biggest hurdle is this. Let me tell you, mains is as good as a hurdle as pre. Focus on both and do not take them separately. If you are good in mains, with little bit more efforts, you will become good in pre also. Okay. Abhi question पूछ रहा है. This also question came in examination. Discuss the essentials of 69th Amendment Act and anomalies, if any, that led to the recent conflict between the elected representative and LG in Delhi. Last year, the fight was going on between LG Delhi and the CM Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. दोनों में झगड़ा हो रहा था. Now they are asking you to analyze this issue in light of 69th Constitutional Amendment Act. Now what is 69th Constitutional Amendment Act? You may not be knowing. Why you are not knowing? Reason ये था, you just read that LG and CM are fighting. We should not be interested in fighting. We should be interested in the background of it. Why there is a fight? Because there is a confusion between the role of LG in Delhi. And what if there is a conflict between the views of CM and LG in Delhi? Because Delhi is not a state. Delhi is a UT with special status. And 69th Amendment Act provided assembly to Delhi, because of which we got a CM, because of which there can be conflict between CM and the LG. Or the same thing is now coming up in Pondicherry. Getting me or not? कहने का मेरा मतलब है, if you were thorough in current affairs, just do not read the lines. Do little bit research from your side also by spending 15 minutes on the news in Google and write something which is having a relevance with the current news, which was a history. Now the third thing, is it making a sense to you? Third thing is this, what are the sources of current affairs? Very relevant. Sources of current affairs for pre, sources of current affairs for mains. Let me tell you, same source. Current affairs, you have to prepare from a newspaper. Newspaper, एक पढ़ लो बहुत है. And if you are going through two papers, then read them selectively. Do not read completely one paper and then again complete other paper. ऐसा मत करना. Time waste हो जाएगा सारा आपका. Newspaper can be Hindu or it can be Indian Express. Take any of them. Hindu या Express में से कोई भी आप एक ले लो. Though I feel nowadays Indian Express has become much better than Hindu, because the kind of rich analysis which Hindu used to bring is now lost, which is now coming in Express. Express is now coming up with an article with a whole page called as Explained. In this page Explained, they explain you the complex issues which are in news that week. For example, Hyperloop बता देगा आपको कि what is Hyperloop. For example, he can tell you the history of Pondicherry becoming part of India. By Pondicherry, was it part of India from the very beginning? French territory thi. It got added into India. Initially it became part of India, then it was declared a UT. So all these developments he can tell you in the page Explained. Though let me tell you, don't wait for Indian Express. This is your duty, this is your moral duty to open Google and again see what is the history of Pondicherry. आप खुद करो. Let me tell you, no book, no teacher can make you clear the exam unless you have a spirit from your side. Do little work from your side also. 1 year of dedicated preparation is enough to crack the exam. 1 year of dedicated effort. Paper, Hindu or Indian Express. Now see, Hindu is also reinventing. For example, today only go and see Hindu. They have come up with an article, what, where, why, whom, where they are explaining a particular issues from various perspectives. What is the issue of Aadhaar and PAN linkage? वो explain किया हुआ है उसने, for example. Okay. So read, if you want to read both, read selectively. Don't read the whole paper. And here, do not miss one thing, editorial. But don't read all the editorials also. Only the editorial which you feel are relevant should be read. Apart from newspaper, the other big source of current affairs is any one monthly magazine. Do not go through 5 or 6 or 7 magazines, or not even 2 magazines. Only follow one. Because every magazine you pick up, you will have something which is missing, but will be found in other magazine. That way we cannot, go through all the 5, 6 magazines. If you are doing your paper religiously, then that is a job done. But still, little bit must be left, because nobody can cover newspaper completely every day. Thoda bahut chutega, that something which you will miss will be covered in the monthly magazine. Apart from monthly magazine, please and please do not leave this. इसे क्या बोलते हैं? Make a practice to go through at least one debate daily. किसी भी issue पे debate. अब triple talaq, uniform civil code is a very potential question for pre or mains. इसमें पक्का क्वेश्चन आएगा. Pre में आएगा नहीं तो मेंस में आएगा. Because this is something which is very hot in news. Now uniform civil code, okay, you understand uniform civil code, but what are the various dimensions of uniform civil code? What are the various dimensions of triple talaq? What are the various dimensions of polygamy? You must know, but that can only be known to you when you expose yourself to different views. Debate is such a beautiful medium by which within half an hour or 1 hour you get exposed to so many angles of the issue. Triple talaq को ले लो आप, or polygamy for example. Let's say polygamy. Sir, polygamy good or bad? Bad. Polygamy is bad, ठीक है. But do not just write bad in examination. If polygamy has been sanctioned by the Indian Constitution till now, Indian law till now, there must be some rationale behind it. Though that rationale is outdated, unscientific, वो एक अलग बात है. But कुछ तो rationale है ना उसके पीछे. तभी तो law has allowed it till now. You should be aware what is the rationale or what was the rationale which is now outdated. वो आपको पता होना चाहिए, and that you will come to know only when you go through the debate. Because in debate there are people who support it, who oppose it, both the views. And debate, do not watch a debate which appears to be extremely glamorous, where people are fighting or coming to blows. वो अच्छा लगता है ना, when they lift the table and hit on each other. That serves no purpose to you. BP बढ़ेगा और कुछ नहीं होगा. We need not increase our BP, we need to increase our marks. And marks will come when you read, when you go through a sincere debate, which mostly come on Rajya Sabha TV or Lok Sabha TV or CNN, IBN also. They give some kind of decent debate, and or NDTV also. But let me tell you, every channel is pro this government, pro that government. Be aware that they will be somehow making a propaganda towards or against one party. Do not be driven by the propaganda. Be extremely rational. Take up the information. Do not take up emotions. ठीक है? This is current affairs. Now last thing before I wrap up is this. How to make notes. Class notes so I'll be giving in the class. After that, please go through Lakshmikant, the same thing. For example, let's say I covered President today. That day itself, go home and revise the notes and read President from Lakshmikant also. If you get some more points, which you will get, 2-3 extra points, add in the notes. Once you have gone through the Lakshmikant once, then everything is covered in the class notes. Then no need to refer Lakshmikant again. Done. And then keep revising. Revising the information again and again and again. Writing the answers again and again and again, the same answer. You wrote an answer, you got 3 out of 10. Take the feedback, improve it. Now you got 4, take the feedback and improve it. Now you get 5. If you don't get 5, keep writing unless you improve. There are people who have got very good marks, and let me tell you, they didn't get the marks in the first attempt. They got the marks, very good at marks, in third attempt or fourth attempt also. But the key was that they have written the same answer 25 times also. ठीक है sir? Make a register for yourself. Current affairs को तैयार करने का तरीका है, do not write the news date wise, write the news topic wise. Make a register, divide the pages of register topic wise. Let's say dedicate first 3-4 pages to president, dedicate the next 3-4 pages to LG, dedicate the next 3-4 pages to the concept of union territory. And this way you will have a compilation of various 35 to 40 topics which were in news. And you will have all the angles of the news. For example, president के ऊपर, whether president of India is only a nominal head or is really powerful. If you know what Pranab Mukherjee did in his tenure as president, then only you can answer it properly. For example, Pranab Mukherjee was not a rubber stamp president. He was a very proactive president. But how do you prove that he was a proactive president? Only when you have written all the actions he did. For example, he gave the warning to the government, ensure that secular fabric of this country is not disturbed. He gave a warning to the parliament, do not waste time, because what you waste is not your time, is the taxpayers' money. He told to the government, I am signing ordinance this time, possibly next time I may not sign the ordinance. If he appeal did na, do not misuse the concept of ordinance. Now, when Pranab Mukherjee has done all these things, you should be knowing all these things, but that can only be known when you write all these things in one place. Compile your own notes also. When you have everything written in one place related to one topic, it is easy to recall in exam and write. If it is scattered, let's say you wrote one thing about president in one area, you wrote the other thing about president after 20 pages. You wrote third thing about president after 20 pages. You will not be able to recall all the things at one place. Write everything about the topic in one place. But the issue is that which topic is important, which is not. The topic which is coming in news again and again and again is definitely important. And also understand that if a landmark year is there, then that topic is important. Abhi for example 2000 क्या चल रहा है sir? Very good. Important क्या हुआ? Something which happened 100 years ago or 50 years ago or 70 years ago. For example, चंपारण भी हो गया या पार्टीशन भी हो गया, है ना? और last year Constituent Assembly was an important area. Reason? Constituent Assembly was formed in 1946. So 2016 year becomes a landmark year. समझ रहे हो मेरी बात को? So these topics are important. Whether you prepare other or not, prepare these topics completely. ठीक है? And let me tell you, polity governance is very easy. Do not be afraid and do not have a fascination for articles. Polity governance is not law. It is about the working, simple working of Indian polity. What are the strengths? What are the loopholes? Focus on it, understand it, analyze it. And the best way to analyze the things is to discuss with friends. Make a good circle of 3-4 people. What you know, share with them. What they know, take from them. And make a healthy mix. Do not write very negative about government. Do not just, be a appreciator of everything which government does. You should be knowing that this can be improved this way also. Understood or not? Before I leave, any question which you want to ask, I just give 2-3 minutes. Dekho, if you come here, then they will give questions to you daily. After every class, you will get a question, subjective question, and 3-4 objective questions, rows. After every periodic interval, they will give you a mini test, which will have 30 or 35 questions of pre, and 8 or 9 questions for mains. ठीक है ना? And if you are not coming for coaching, no problem at all. Then take up the news which came in paper and see the relevant topic from the previous year paper and see what kind of questions have come in exam. For example, if the cooperative federalism word is important, then take up the previous year paper and open the page which says federalism or questions which came on federalism. Go through them. Daily basis pe to there are now so many test series also. Vision IAS is also famous for the test series. Go through the test series, if not the class course. Haan ji sir.
You read government reports that they mention on their ministry websites.
Government reports which are mentioned on the ministry website, do not waste time on reading them. Because the monthly magazine, Vision IAS is also bringing monthly magazine, which is also very beautiful. You can read these reports in the magazine itself. They are also working on it, okay? Because see, you don't have that much of time also. You cannot afford to filter all the information yourself. Let they also work on it and use the material they have provided you. रिपोर्ट आप खुद ज्यादा उस पर काम मत करना. They are working on it. They will pick up the relevant fibers and add in the magazine itself. But in the magazine, if you don't understand something, then open Google again. Because I must have written the thing from my perspective. That perspective may not match with your perspective, or you may require some extra clarification. वो तो net से मिल जाएगी आपको. You are lucky reason the era in which you are preparing, internet is very accessible. Every information is uploaded on net. Make the best use of it. Internet तो पता ही है सर आपको, Facebook and all. बताओ सर.
Some relevant magazines.
Relevant magazine, as I say, one monthly magazine is enough. Even Yojana Kurukshetra, they add in the magazine. But still, if you want to read, but मैं तो यही बोलूँगा, do not read these extra magazines. Yojana Kurukshetra you can read. Very small magazine, and it's a government magazine. So the data is authenticated. For example, he may give you some scheme which was in news or which was making rounds. You know the loopholes and the strength of the scheme by reading Yojana Kurukshetra. And if you come across some interesting data, take down the data. Because only with data you can justify that this scheme is going good, this scheme is not doing well. Previously and every year they ask some scheme. One child policy, for example, or sorry, national child policy, for example. They can ask you to what level it has done well, to what level it has not done well. ये मिलता है इन magazines के अंदर. Though as I said, the data will also be covered in the monthly magazine of VISION IAS. So you can take from that also.
Sir, is it possible to prepare a civil service examination by taking notes with test series?
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल कर सकते हो सर. I will not force you to join coaching. I will not, strongly recommend. But let me tell you, एक बात मैं आपको बता दूं, whether you join coaching or not. बहुत सारे लोग ही बोलते हैं, many people say that we have not joined coaching and we cleared the exam in first attempt. Let me tell you, whatever claims they make, they were having some kind of guidance with them. ये बात आप मान के चलो. Nobody is that genius. Problem is not with their IQ. They must be having very good IQ. The problem is with the nature of the exam. Course is not that very well defined. Huge course, and that too sometimes scattered. And that too UPSC breaks trend always. If you have a guide with you, that guide can be your brother, that guide can be your sister, that guide can be your parents, that guide can be the institute. एक guide होना जरूरी है. And then test series will work. Don't think that the topper told you 6 books on one subject. You read all the 6 books. Now you will take up the test series. That 6 books will consume the whole year. Somebody has to tell you that do not read the whole book. Read selected things. वो somebody तो guide ही है ना. Okay. Because then see what happens. We start preparing with the zeal, and after some time we understand that we have covered only one book in 2 months. अब मैं आपको बोलूँ, for example, in economics read Mishrapuri. तो Mishrapuri is okay. आप पूरी Mishrapuri पढ़ने बैठ गए. It can take you 2 months to complete it. Time is gone then. है कि नहीं है? Okay. हाँ जी. Answer writing, sir, test series, as I said, Vision IAS test series is extremely popular and also good. You can take up an answer writing, can be done there also. And if you come to class, daily basis, they will give you questions. You can write the answer, you can submit the answer, it will be given to you as a feedback along with the marks. हाँ जी.
Sir, in the absence of Honorable President, or Honorable Vice President occupy the office.
हाँ.
In the absence of both, who will occupy?
यार CGI करता है, मगर ये फॉरम अब ज्ञान लेने का नहीं है. This is about understanding the orientation. हाँ जी.
They said that if you are going for UPSC, then you just have to just get yourself combined in a room with that 18 to 20 hours a day. So is UPSC really a hard thing to cut?
Nobody studies for 20 hours a day, let me tell you. And the people who claim are the biggest liars and the biggest, what should I say? 20 घंटे कोई पढ़ नहीं सकता, और पढ़ेगा भी तो एक दिन, next day or after 3 days in hospital or mental hospital. समझ रहे हो? Do not be driven by these kind of claims. I studied for 22 hours. अरे when you studied for 22 hours, when did you take bath? बोलो. और सोए कब? ये तो unnecessary का exaggeration है. Let me tell you, if you consistently study for 6 hours after the class, which is for 3 hours, 8 to 9 hours. 8 hours also consistently for 1 year, enough. 8 घंटे if you are studying seriously. Seriously matlab when you are only studying, you are not answering WhatsApp or something else in between. 8 hours of pure study, focused study for 1 year can do wonders. 22 घंटे कोई पढ़ता नहीं है. ठीक है सर?
Regarding the time management in the college.
Sir, 2 minutes please.
Regarding the time management in the college life, sir, how can we manage our time?
Sir, if you are in college, then don't think that in first attempt itself I'll clear, because I think eligibility will also not be there if you are undergraduate. So if you are in college, then after college you can spend, let's say, paper to approach kar sakte, you can do paper daily. After that, if you have access to some notes or you're coming here also, we have got students who are in college right now. So they're attending college on alternate day basis, because attendance is not a problem for them. And then they are completing the course class, they are very attentive, they go home, they revise. So it takes them only 2 hours after the class to revise what is done in the class. So when they complete their college, their GS is over. Then they take care of the optional for 4 months, 5 months. Or some answer writing. So 1 year after college can also do wonders, provided when you are in college, you are giving 3 hours on daily basis after the class. Let me tell you, what he is asking is a very valid question. He says, for the people who are working, what should be done? They should go for the coaching or they should go for the test series only. एक बात मैं आपको बता दूं, it is not only for working professional, also for everyone. Test series alone will not work unless you are clear with the foundation, unless you have built a foundation. If you think I will join test series and I learn from there, you will learn definitely, but that will not help you in examination or cracking the examination. पहले foundation तो होनी चाहिए ना. To test the foundation, you take test series, or to clear your concepts further, you take test series, or to do answer writing, you do test series. But just test series without no foundation, difficult हो जाएगा. And if you are working, weekend batches can also be taken up.
Whenever we are reading the news, what I felt personally, I am telling, everything is important. Something important. What we start doing
हाँ. Same thing. वही तो मैं आपको बोलना चाह रहा हूँ. हाँ हाँ understood. Okay sir, understood. हाँ हाँ understood your pain. What he says is this: if we read paper on daily basis, the same thing is coming, and if we start writing them, it will take the whole time, and ultimately we come to know that we have just copied the same thing which we have already copied. That's why I said, do not make notes date-wise, make notes topic-wise. For example, let's say you are making notes on president on 3-4 pages. Write first of all in point form. When you are writing in point form, a news which you have already written, you will be knowing that I have already written that. है कि नहीं है? That will avoid repetition. And always write in point form. What he has written in 10 lines, write in half a line or 1 line. Gist form में. See, initially, if you make notes from newspaper, it will take much time. It can even take 4 hours initially. Initially, for 1 month, it can take 4 hours. Slowly and slowly, time will get reduced automatically, because for the reason you will develop a reading speed, and for the reason what you are reading today, you have already read in the previous day or the previous week. Okay. So initially, the time will come down to 2 hours, or eventually it will come down to 1.5 hours also. ठीक है ना? So this is the optimum time is 1.5 hours to 2 hours. तो लगते ही हैं पेपर को करने में. हाँ sir. And what is relevant, what is not, if you are thorough with the previous year paper, you will automatically understand. I discussed few questions or not just now. For example, I discussed 69th Amendment Act coming in the paper. 69th Amendment Act came in newspaper also. Now, if the similar issue is coming regarding Pondicherry, you must be knowing that this is important, because similar question has come in UPSC previously. Hanji.
What are the things to read from newspaper apart from the editorials?
See, editorial is nothing but a summary of what you have read in the news only. Okay, but this gives you everything in one go and with some extra dimensions. Okay. What not to read, again I said, I cannot tell you in this class that way, just unless we have a paper, and then I'll tell you that this is not important. For example, you can leave easily sports news. Nowadays paper they are covering sports in 4 pages. Leave it. At best in pre, if they ask, they will ask you only one question. That too you can easily cover in the test series or the monthly magazine. Don't spend so much of time on that. Don't read the crime news. अब road rage की खबर आई, don't. Anji. Now this is the last question because other sir is also waiting. Hanji. See, I told you with example. Before that I took example, no? And with questions I told how to go through that. But then this governance, I said, for governance, I'll be giving you class notes, and Vision IAS printed notes are also given to you, good printed notes on governance. No need to read Lakshmikant governance. I feel it's a waste of time. He has not, the kind of quality he has put in Lakshmikant polity. Lakshmikant governance is not good. Class notes and Vision IAS printed notes, enough. And then again paper. ठीक है ना? Thank you very much.